Hello YouTube, this is my tech video about the comparison of the Pentium G860 processor and the Intel Core i3-2100 processor. So let's start. Both of these processors are based on the Intel's Sandbridge architecture and it's already launched, so it's already available in the market today. So the Pentium was already launched in the third quarter of 2011 and the i3-2100 was launched in the first quarter of 2011. Both of these processors have two cores, so it's a dual core. Number of threads, the Pentium has 2 and the i3 has 4. You're wondering, how the i3 have 4 threads but only have dual core? Because a dual core can execute 2 threads, right? Like the AMD Phenom 2, let's say X2555 Black Edition. Well, the i3-2100 processor had something called hyper-threading technology. So it allows the processor to execute multi-threaded applications. It's actually featured in the Pentium 4 processor back in 2002. So the i3 has hyper-threading. So hyper-threading can benefit multi-threaded applications like video editing software, animation software, computer games, audio encoding software, video encoding software like Handbrake or Adobe Audition, Adobe Premiere, or any video editing applications can benefit of the Intel hyper-threading technology because it's actually accelerating multi-threaded applications. That's why the i3 is best for multi-threaded applications since it has 4 threads. Okay? So for the clock speed, the Pentium has 3 GHz versus the i3, which is 100 MHz higher, so it runs at 3.1 GHz. For the L3 cache, the Pentium and the i3, both of them have 3 MB of shared L3 cache. Bus and core ratio, also known as the multiplier. The Pentium has 30, the i3 is 31. So that's why the Pentium processor runs at 3 GHz and the i3 runs at 3.1 GHz. Bus type, DMI. Both of them have DMI bus speed. DMI bus type, I'm sorry. DMI bus type, or also called the direct media interface, and runs at 5 gigatransfers per second. Next is the instruction set. Both of them are 64-bit processors, so they can run Windows 7 64-bit. Next is the instruction set extensions. The Pentium has SSE 4.1 and 4.2. The i3 has SSE 4.1, 4.2, and AVX. Okay, what is AVX? AVX stands for Advanced Vector Extensions. According to Wikipedia, Advanced Vector Extensions is an extension to the x86 instruction set architecture for microprocessors from Intel and AMD. Proposed by Intel in March 2008 and first supported by Intel with the Westmere processor, shipping in the first quarter of 2011. So that is a Sandbridge processor. And for the AMD processor, the Bulldozer. So the Bulldozer has AVX. AVX provides new features, new instructions, and new coding scheme. So there's the features. So as far as I know, AVX accelerates applications designed for AVX coding scheme. So let's say a programmer programs an application and it's optimized for AVX, they can benefit the AVX instruction set. Okay, next is the lithography or the process technology. Both of them are 32 nanometer. For the TDP or the thermal design power, which is the power consumption of the processor, So both of them are at 65 watts. So the TDP is 65 watts on the Pentium and the i3 2100. And for the price, the suggested retail price is $86 for the Pentium G860, and i3 is at $117. Next is the memory specifications. Both of them supports up to 32 gigabytes of RAM on a 64-bit operating system. If you're using 32-bit operating system like Windows 7 32-bit, Windows Vista 32-bit, or Windows XP, you can only use up to 4 gigabytes of RAM. For the memory type, both of them supports DDR3 1066, 1333. So they can support these memory speeds. And number of memory channels, both of them are dual channel memory architecture. So they can actually have the dual channel architecture if you install two similar DIMMs on the slots. For the memory bandwidth, both of them are running at 21 gigabits per second. So that's the memory bandwidth. Okay, next is for the integrated graphics. Both of them on the processor die have the Intel HD graphics. For the Pentium, it's called Intel HD graphics. For the i3, has the Intel HD graphics 2000. For the higher end K series processors like the i5 2500K and the i7 2600K and the 2700K, has the Intel HD graphics 3000. That is the higher end Intel HD graphics processing unit built into the die of the processor. So that is the newer integrated graphics from Intel, and based on the reviews, they're actually as fast as the AMD or ATI Radeon HD 5450. So it's actually as fast as the low-end graphics card. But based on the videos on YouTube, they can play a lot of video games, which is nice. For the graphics base frequency, both of them runs at 850 MHz, and the graphics max dynamic frequency, let's say the graphics processing unit is under full load, they can be overclocked automatically, like turbo boost, and can be overclocked to 1.1 GHz. Both of them can run at 1.1 GHz under full load. Let's say you're running a game. Okay, next. Intel QuickSync Video. The Pentium doesn't have? No. The i3 2100? Yes. Intel In-Through 3D technology. No for the Pentium. Yes for the i3. Oh, by the way, Intel QuickSync Video. So this is a new feature of new Intel HD 2000 graphics and 3000. So what it is it actually accelerates the video encoding. Let's say you're converting uh, a YouTube video, an HD YouTube video, to your iPod or your iPhone. It's actually pretty fast. Based on the videos I can see on YouTube and based on the reviews in the internet, the Intel QuickSync Video is actually really good. It's really fast when processing video. Intel In-Through 3D technology? No for the Pentium. Yes for the i3. Intel Insider? No for the Pentium. Yes for the i3. Wireless display? No, no. Both of them doesn't have. Intel Flexible Display Interface, or FDI? Yes for the Pentium. Yes for the i3. Intel Clear Video HD technology? No for the Pentium G860. Yes for the i3. So clear video technology, as the term clear video, so it's actually clear video when you're watching a movie. It's very good when you're watching HD video. Dual display capable? Yes, yes. If your motherboard had DVI, HDMI, or VGA outputs. PCI Express version 2.0. Both of them are 2.0. And the socket is LJ1155. Okay. Advanced technologies. Turbo boost. No, no. Both of them knows. vPro. No, no. Hyper-threading technology. I already talked this in the first part of the video. The Pentium doesn't have. The i3, yes, that's why it has 4 threads. So it can benefit multi-threaded applications. Intel Virtualization Technology, VTX. That's the Intel term. For the AMD, it's called AMD V or AMD Virtualization Technology. Pentium, yes. The i3, yes. So both of them has VTX. So you can use VMware or VirtualBox, virtualization software. Intel Virtualization Technology for directed I/O, no, no. Trusted execution, no for the Pentium, yes for the i3. No for the i3, I'm sorry. AES new instructions, no for the Pentium, no for the i3. Intel 64, also called EM64T, yes, yes. Idle states, yes, yes. So idle states, I think also called C1E. I think it's called C1E. So what it does is, let's say your processor is idle, so it will dynamically or it will adjust the core voltage and the frequency to a lowest level to conserve power. That's what I know about C1E or idle states. Intel speed step technology. Both of them have. Yes, yes. So Intel speed step is a power saving technology from Intel, also the same as the C1E. However, it's actually depending on the workload that you're using. Let's say you're just browsing the internet, or let's say you're actually doing your word processing documents, Excel spreadsheets, PowerPoint presentations. So once you're doing that, the processor can actually dynamically adjust the frequency and the voltage to conserve power. If you're rendering a video, let's say playing a game, the Intel speed step technology will increase the performance of your processor and the voltage and the frequency, of course, to increase your performance. I think that's Intel speed step, conserving power. Thermal monitoring technologies, yes, yes. So the thermal monitoring is, I think, it has a thermal sensing diode in the processor. So you can use a third party software to monitor the temperature like this, like hardware monitor. So I'm using it to monitor my temperatures of the processor. Fast memory access. Yes, yes. Flex memory access. Yes, yes. Execute disable bit or XD bit. Both of them, yes. So what is XD bit? As far as I know, XD bit is a processor technology. Both AMD and Intel has this. And it's actually a security feature. Let's say there's a virus in the computer and tries to execute code, the processor can actually stop executing the code so that your computer will not be infected by the virus. Or buffer overflow, I think. Something like that. That's what I know. So that's the comparison about the Pentium G860 and the Core i3-2100. So your question is, what is the best processor? What is the best processor for games? The Pentium G860 is also good for games. Yeah, they can run high-end games because it has higher clock speed, but the i3-2100 is a much better processor for gaming because it has hyper-threading, so they can benefit multi-threaded applications like games, and more and more and more games are being developed optimized for multi-threaded processors. That's why it can benefit from the hyper-threading technology. That's why the i3 is best for games. Also, the Pentium is best for games. But if you want good frame rates, higher frame rates, the i3 can utilize that. And for video encoding, the i3 is best because it has quick sync video. I already tried quick sync video. I encoded a 1 gigabyte file, HD file, and it's actually pretty good. Converts it to an iPod format in 1 minute. It's very nice. So the Pentium is a bit cheaper than the i3, but it has lacked some of the features of the i3 lacks, like the hyperthreading. Doesn't have hyperthreading, doesn't have the advanced graphics features, and you get what you pay for it. So the Pentium processor is a budget processor for low-end computers. For the i3, I think it's a mid-range processor. So mine I'm used. That's why I bought the i3, and it's actually pretty good. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.